What's up, guys? Ted from Immersion here, and I'm back with another D&D weekly update. We actually got more news than I anticipated. Some really cool stuff coming up with the D&D Extra Life, as there always is, as well as previews of new books to come out soon. Updates to Errata, to most, if not all, of the pre-existing files out there. Some that I think are really useful and may clarify some things for stuff we've had questions on in the past. And again, more convention-based stuff. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, stay tuned. So why don't we jump right in with the stuff that we know that we have. Let's move the mic a little bit closer here. So we have new Dragon Plus, as we always do. This one was with James Wyatt talking about the Plane Shift Amonkhet article. And the lore you should know was about the dangers of Chult. So that's what we had to look for from that. Then we have this kind of the sage advice column. Kind of went away for a while when Unearthed Arcana became a weekly thing, and then it pretty much really hasn't come back. But rather than a true sage advice article, we got an update to the sage advice compendium, as well as updates to the following erratas. We've got the updated monster lists. Now you can see the list of monsters, I think, by CR and type for both Monster Manual and Volo's Guide. Out of the Abyss got errata, Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide got errata, Volo's Guide to Monsters got errata, and the Player's Handbook one also got updated. There is some stuff that I'm going to be doing separate videos on, but I'll touch on them briefly here. So, the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide errata, a lot of it was small corrections to lore and grammatical stuff for kind of the lore section of the book, which is like 90% of the book. So for the hard, crunchy content of new stuff, basically they did alter the tieflings. Winged tieflings only have a fly speed of 30 feet, while they aren't wearing heavy armor. That was not a distinction before, which made a winged tiefling paladin never a bad option. Now you may be less because you don't get the fly speed and heavy armor. Inspiring Surge, now for the Purple Dragon Knight fighter, activates at 18th level rather than 17th. That was the fighter's 18th level ability that they did not have previously. They changed the Sun Soul Monk's Searing Sunburst and Sun Shield to both say that they are magically created. I guess that's to distinguish that potentially a Dispel Magic or an anti-magic field will not allow those to work. Champion Challenge, which was a Oath of the Crown Paladin ability, is now bonus action. It just said you use it. It didn't actually give you a way to use it. Now they determined that it is a bonus action. That was pretty much the assumption everybody had, but now it's determined. And then the Raven style uses the War Pick rather than Pick. In the Inheritor background says any items with your proficient has changed to the tool you choose for your background proficiency, means you get it as part of your background. Volo's Guide, little clarification with the Triton race. Basically makes it show that you can cast each spell, cast one spell with that feature and you can't use it again. That's now basically one of each spell, which again I assumed was the way it was supposed to be, and that was confirmed. Then a couple little tweaks to some of the monsters there. That's about it. For the Player's Handbook, you'll see this is the entire errata for the Player's Handbook. There's stuff that say parentheses 6th printing. That is the new stuff here. So like this. For spells known at first level and higher for fighter, the final sentence as follows: unless you're replacing the spell you gained at 3rd, 8th, or 14th level from any school of magic. So I believe that's saying that the Eldritch Knight fighter can now choose to get spells from any, when they go to replace their later ones, they don't have to choose from just Evocation and Abjuration. Let's see, do we get anything additional? Sorcerer, no. Okay, Minor Conjuration for the Wizard. Also disappears if it deals any damage. Minor Conjuration Wizard, a little clarification there. Equipment. Oh, spells done and prepared. A new paragraph appears at the end of this. If a cantrip of yours increases in power at higher levels, the increase is based on your character level, not your level in a particular class. That was something we all kind of knew, but it has been confirmed there as well. Feats alert. The final section now reads, other creatures don't gain advantage on attack rolls against you as a result of being unseen by you. Before it said something like, hidden creature, you don't provoke advantage, or don't, something of that nature. It's been clarified there. I think that's everything here. High jump after applying, basically they said that you can't have negative movement speed. If you go to do a high jump, it's your strength modifier. It's a minimum of 0 feet. Dark vision, it's been updated in the adventuring section to match everywhere else in the book. Resting, it clarifies that any creature, not just an adventurer, can take a short or long rest. After applying, you can't lose hit points on a short rest from having a negative constitution modifier. And then the section here on the long rest about how you have to take 6 hours of sleep. It's not just 8 hours of resting, it's 6 hours of sleep, which also helps to clarify the trance issue for the elf. I think that's pretty much it. Moonbeam, the words up to now appear, and move the beam up to 60 feet in any direction. Because it used to be move the beam 60 feet, which if you read it as written would mean you have to move the beam 60 feet, now you can move it up to 60 feet. I think everybody pretty much figured that out, but Prismatic Wall no longer references a Rod of Cancellation, a magic item that doesn't exist. And True Resurrection says if the creature was undead, it is restored to its non-undead form. Out of the Abyss Errata, not a whole lot of stuff, just a couple of tweaking of the wording in a couple of places. I noticed this playing as Grost. It says Grost uses bluff, not deception. Nothing really huge here, but some small updates. Just a reminder, I was happening to look at this myself, that there's a guide for converting previous characters to 5th edition, so if you wanted to convert monsters, characters, or otherwise, this guide kind of gives you that. And again, here's the monster list, which shows you if it follows guide or the monster rule. Then the Sage Advice Compendium, which is all the officially answered Sage Advices, I believe. The document version change. Okay, so these ones highlighted in this kind of beige-ish color here are the new questions. This gets clarified. This clarifies trance for elves, which is sort of what I was just talking about. Circle of the Moon Druids can speak in elemental form. They kind of go into that a little bit more. The fact that you have to attack first with an Eldritch Knight, you have to cast a spell to then attack because they're a direct correlation to one another. Again, this is a long, drawn-out description of how Lucky works, to explain how it's still like Lucky lets you roll an additional die and then you choose which one. So even if you have disadvantage, you roll 2 dice for disadvantage and then roll your 3rd die, you can still pick. So it can kind of negate disadvantage in that way. Contagion, official ruling in here. Contagion doesn't take effect. None of its effects start until all 3 saves are failed. Description about druids going to 0 hit points with Disintegrate, which is a back and forth debate between a lot of folks. That's pretty much it for that. Tomb of Annihilation, Adventure League surrogate characters. This is a cool concept of basically your character dies, in Tomb of Annihilation, the death curse is in effect, they can't come back. This talks about building characters to sort of like take their place and they kind of get their items, and there's information here on the primer as well as some free surrogate characters. The Extra Life for Dungeons & Dragons is on November 4th, so let's take a look at the calendar here. Hopefully, that's a Saturday, unfortunately. Previous years, it's been a Friday into a Saturday. This year, it's a Saturday. But, as always, I highly recommend that you go out and support the folks at Wizards of the Coast. Not only do you get a lot of cool stuff yourself, because when you donate to Extra Life on Wizards of the Coast behalf, they usually do, like, kind of like a giveaway almost. Like, if you donate $50 in the next hour, you get this. That's how I got a signed copy of the 5th edition Monster Manual, as well as a couple of cool other things. But if they raise a certain amount of money, they usually give us, as players, cool things overall. So, every year, they've pretty much raised $200,000, and I usually join the Extra Life team to try to help out with that. So it looks like they're starting a game in the evening on November 3rd, featuring the D&D team along with Satine Phoenix and Rudy Rutenberg from Maze Arcana. And on November 4th, you'll be able to watch 12 hours of D&D live during the official live Extra Play event. It's only 12 hours? Normally they did 24, and one year they did 48, which was pretty crazy. It's all meant to raise money for a good cause. Greg Tito hosting the events. So, we can go over here to the Extra Life page, and we'll check that in a sec. But the amount of money they raise will unlock cool new things. They've done this in the past. So, 5K Art Gallery of Tomb Annihilation, 10K Random Encounters from Xanathar's Guide, 15K List of Suggested Character Names from Xanathar's Guide, 20 Sample Life Events from Xanathar's Guide. This is where we really want to get. 25K List of New Wizard Spells, 30K a Subclass Preview, and 40K, the big one, is the Table of Contents. We'll know exactly what new stuff we're getting with the Table of Contents, or at least to a degree. I'll also look for additional awards and character reveals and exclusive content from Codename Entertainment, that's the folks behind Idle Champions of the Realms, and Catalyst Games, the folks behind Dragonfire and several other games. The Turtle Package, this is huge. As a further bonus this year, we're working feverishly to create a special downloadable with the Dungeon Masters Guild. Chris Perkins and the rest of the D&D team have specially created Turtles as a playable race that will be made available in the coming days, with all proceeds directly benefiting Extra Life's chosen cosplay. If you're unfamiliar with Turtles, they are a race of an anthropomorphic turtle that appeared in previous editions of the game. The material will also include an adventure location and a few added monsters as well. So we're excited to contribute to Extra Life on November 4th, which means that maybe right around when I do my 24-hour online stream, not to be confused with my 24-hour in-person stream. So I'm going to be trying to do a lot of stuff to raise money for Extra Life, so be on the lookout for that. Let's check their Extra Life page now that we're here. They've raised $100 out of their $10,000 goal, and we can see all the information here, and information as well as joining the teams and the donations and whatnot. You can add these sweet badges to your thing as well to kind of help support. So, Tomb of Annihilation Guild Adepts. We sort of already talked about these, but there's more of a formal introduction now. They have some fantastic products lined up for September 8th. Again, that's the early release for the Wizards Play Network stores, folks. Also, all of those of us up at HasCon, myself included, they show you what all of the names of the different modules are in the DM's Guild and who is involved. So, you can see a lot of people work together. Beast of Jungle Rot, Cellar of Death, Encounters of Courtney and Zaru, Heart of the Wild, The Ruins of Matolo, Undeserved Punishment, Return of the Lizard King, Ruins of Mesro, Heritage, and Ruins of Asari, and then there's a little piece on each person involved. There you go. D&D PAX West. By the time you guys are seeing this, Acquisitions Incorporated already happened. It was awesome. I feel like this was I feel like it was AI, so things get a little crazy, but I felt like they didn't get as much done as they normally do, and they kind of had to end it early, so I'm curious how much Chris Perkins had planned that they didn't actually get to touch on. But it was cool to see Strix, Holly Conrad, Strix from the Dice Camera Action Games in there as well, and obviously it's the PAX West game, so there's crazy costumes. There was also a Dice Camera Action AMA as well. Ask the Waffle Crew anything. So actually, Ask the Waffle Crew minus Nate anything. And then lastly, Dragon Plus issue 15 came out recently. You can see the front cover is all about the betrayal of Baldur's Gate, which is the kind of betrayal at House on the Hill, but D&D themed. I will be doing a separate full video on this Dragon Plus, as I often do here on the channel. So I'm not going to go too much into it now, but we can see what the features are. Preview of Tomb of Annihilation, a fictional story based in the world of Chult, making of Betrayals of Baldur's Gate. Preview the latest Adventure System board game. Okay, so there's going to be another board game, but based on Tomb of Annihilation. Tales from Candlekeep. Transforming the Tomb of Annihilation board game into a digital adventure. Dragon Retro, pages from old Dragon issues. Tomb of Annihilation in Neverwinter. Volo's kind of guide to Chult a little bit there. Let's see, explains how to handle large groups. A preview of something on the DM's Guild. Maps of the month. and then a little bit about the comic Frost Giants Fury Part 4. And again, I will be doing a separate video all about that. So, I think we can go here. That's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you thought about the news this week. Some cool stuff in the Errata. Like I said, I'll be doing a separate video on that. And again, I'll be making another separate video talking about going to HasCon. But I just wanted to kind of put this video out there, as I always do. I hope you guys, if you're here in the U.S. and enjoying a Labor Day holiday weekend, I hope you enjoy that and have fun times with all your family and friends. And up above me, you can see a couple of videos here. You can see Continuum number 2. That is the new campaign that's going on right behind me at this table. Last time they were on this boat that you can kind of see right here that I made for the terrain. So you can go check out the second episode of that. The third episode will be, I think, this Tuesday. We're on the fence about whether we're going to play or not, but we'll stay tuned to social media to find out. And the other one is my interview/review of Gen Con 50 with Brittany and Celeste of Venture Maidens. So you should check that out and go check out all the Venture Maidens channels as well. And then again, you can always click, I always want to go this way, but you can click here to subscribe to the channel. That way you can stay up to date on all the new updates that I have coming out. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.